Known as Dr. Lou, your partner in success and progress, coming at you live late night on a Tuesday. Just wanted to touch bases with the fam, see how everybody's feeling tonight. I know a lot of people are in their feelings about this restaurant owner.
On a Tuesday.
I know everybody's in their feelings about this restaurant owner that kicked some ladies out. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But I first want to start off by checking on my devices to make sure you can see me all right. And I want to let you know who I am. So, as I said, my name is Dr. Tarika Lewis. I help people and businesses to succeed using education and training. And one of the things that I do is help families and people to kind of build better success, whether you're using school or education or training or other tools. All right, so kind of said that anyway. Let's jump into this headline about this restaurant owner in Dallas. I'm assuming that's Dallas, Texas, who had a fit because some ladies started feeling the music a little more than he would have liked, and started twerking on the chairs, maybe even the tables. I couldn't really tell from the video. I did see the video of him going off on his rant. I also saw the video of the ladies when they were in the thick of it. And here are my thoughts on it first and foremost. First of all, I chuckled because a lot of people are getting like really upset about this in ways that kind of shocked and surprised me. Like, I'm like, why? I was asking, myself and others, like, why is this bothering people so very much? I mean, it's his restaurant. He has the right to, decide not to serve everybody. But also, the ladies, felt the music that was being played and decided they were going to dance. I just kind of felt like, on the one hand, this is not a topic that the nation needs to be debating right now. It's a lot going on in the world, health issues, a pandemic, you got election issues and all this other stuff. So like, there are a lot of things that are major that are happening in the world right now. And we are going back and forth about this particular situation, but I do have an opinion about it. I have some very strong feelings. So let me start off by saying this. As a Black woman, it was really uncomfortable to watch this man yelling at these ladies as if they were children. And I'm going to call them ladies because I don't believe that we have the right to call them outside of their name because they were dancing. That's just me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm a person that feels like people have a right to be disrespectful or whatever, do certain things in front of my kids that I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable doing. But as the business owner, if I'm in his shoes, I'm going to ask them to leave because he said that he had asked them several times to stop. They did not. And so since they're not respecting the rules of the establishment that they're sitting in, then they need to be asked to leave. That part I get. I'm not necessarily saying that based on this snippet, any of us have the right to fully judge anybody that's in the situation. I'm a firm believer in non-judgment. I have my hands full trying to get my own life together. The last thing I need to be doing is judging somebody else's life. However, if the ladies were out of line for twerking and standing on chairs, then he also was out of line for going on this rant and using all of this profanity. And I'm not a stickler for whether or not a person should use profanity, but if he's that much of a stickler for how the ladies were dancing, then his language was certainly offensive as well. He's yelling and talking all over the people's food during a pandemic without mask the first on. There were just a lot of things that would have turned me off to this restaurant anyway, before we get to the fact that the ladies were twerking. And I say that just to say there is a strong hint of misogyny in the fact that we are cheering for this man for yelling at these women like they were girls and chastising them and correcting them, while at the same time acting outside of decorum himself. Right? This is not a situation where there's small children that are destroying something or about to hurt themselves, justification for whether or not, we need to use corporal punishment. This is not one of those situations. This is a situation that could have easily been handled, to me, by asking them to leave. The ladies didn't seem to be holding on to the table. They didn't seem to be fighting back. I'm sure that had he asked them to leave, they would have left. Right? And he did in his rant say, "Get the F out of my restaurant." So He felt perfectly comfortable asking them to leave then. I just don't see why the rant needed to take place. But here is my feeling based on some of the things he said. I really feel like in his gut, he thought he was going to get an ovation. He was going to get the crowd cheering. And maybe they did, and we didn't see that part of the video. However, that's not the same thing as him taking this moral high ground that this speech seemed to imply that he was trying to take. That's just, this is just my opinion, right? So, like I said, I think it would have been perfectly fine for him to ask them to leave. I think the yelling and cussing and fussing at them like they were his children is a part of a bigger problem in society. Number one, we have no problem allowing men to talk to women like they're children, even when they're not. As adults, they could have just been asked to leave. Number two, I wonder if those were white women, if he would have yelled at them the same way. And I seriously doubt it. And I say that to say we have this propensity in the community of African descent in America to go harder on each other than we do on anybody else. And our excuse is, well, I expect more of us, or, I was embarrassed, or you need to represent us at all times. But really that's partially an excuse because we feel perfectly empowered talking to each other in ways that we don't feel empowered to talk to other people in that same manner. And I wonder if this same business owner would have talked to white people that way. Because I've definitely seen some white people turn up to songs because they felt it, and if the dancing is offensive, the song itself, my understanding is they were dancing to back that thing up. The song is specifically talking about doing just that, backing that thing up. And so it's not that I feel like as adults, we don't know how to control ourselves, or that we need to, that's an excuse to lose control. I'm not of that mindset, right? I wasn't the person blaming rap music for any problem in the world. But at the same token, if it's perfectly okay for that man to say that about women's body parts in the restaurant, then show me the justification for the double standard that the women are to be chasing like children for then dancing that way. I think we need to look at our value systems a little bit, just as a culture, as a community, as a society. But that, again, that's a personal opinion. I definitely didn't have to share it, but I'm sharing it on my channel. And so I welcome you to look at a different channel if you don't like it. Like, I respect your right to not listen to me right now. Just like I respect his right to do whatever he wants in his restaurant. But I will not be frequent in that restaurant if I'm in that area. Because I find it offensive for him to be talking to grown-ups like that, period. So, and if I felt like their dancing was offensive, then I'm expecting them to be asked to leave. I'm not expecting to have to hear somebody go on this rampage like they're somebody's daddy or granddaddy, all but spanking them in the restaurant. It was a lot for me. And it bothered me that we didn't just see it as, maybe not one of our shining moments as Black people. Had you said that, I'm good. Had people said that, the women were off the chain and he kind of lost his mind about it, that's cool. But we're acting like, it's about time somebody did. What did he really do for Black culture by going off on these women? How in the world is this doing what he claims in his video he established that restaurant to do, which was provide Black people a space, to act with decorum and enjoy themselves? And that's me paraphrasing. He did not use those words, but he did say, I invested a lot of money to create a space for us and I will not have it. He was going on and on. And I'm like, so how did your rant do that? You know what I'm saying? And the half-hearted apology, well, it just didn't sit well with me. But again, my answer to that is he won't be seeing any of my money in his wonderful establishment. I'm sure he'll get some people that ride for him, just like there are people that go out in droves to go shop at Hobby Lobby or Chick-fil-A in order to support somebody that they believe has views such as theirs. And that's fine. I respect that. I am not saying that I think it's a good thing for people to be twerking at a restaurant. If I'm sitting there with my kids, I'm not saying I need to see all that either. But I also don't need my daughters thinking that any lottie-dottie, any old body can come up to them and talk to them like their father. And before you tell me it takes a village to raise a child, it does. But you better vet that village and make sure that they love your child like they're supposed to. Because if they don't, you will find that they're perpetuating slave mentality onto your kids by treating them like slaves whenever they can. And that's kind of what I felt like. It's the equivalent of us beating each other up because we can and because it's going to be applauded by other people. And I don't think he got the reaction that he thought he was going to get, because a lot of people are up in arms about it. But anyway, hey, those are opinions and everybody has them, right? So those are my thoughts on the restaurant owner and him kicking the women out for twerking. I didn't see much more of the video than the snippets that were shared online. I hope that the women moved on with their lives and are just fine. And I do hope that his establishment thrives and does well, because, you know, as a business owner, I want to see us all do well. So anyway, thank you so much for listening to me. Until next time, it's your girl, Dr. Tarika Lewis. This is my personal opinion, and I hope you have a great day.